from the okay. Okay, I think we shall just start, guys. Very good afternoon, good evening to some of you. Welcome to today's geometric trading, live geometric trading market outlook. As you can see on the screen, we are FX Geometry is powered by Blackwell Global. I'm using Blackwell Global's MT4 platform, the trading platform, as well as my educational platform. Okay, so I've got the studio at their offices as well. So this is where I do my daily webinars, live webinars especially. So I'll just go over very quickly before we get into it and start. Okay, I think I've got some questions already. Give me a second. Okay, hi Mr. Palani, you've mentioned about the highest point as well. Yes, that's very good. I wonder for which pair, is that the AUD USD, I suppose. Yeah, well, we shall discuss that definitely. Okay. Before anything else, I would like to take you to our risk warning. Okay, just very briefly. Risk warning here is a general, universal risk warning on forex and CFDs. They're actually leverage products, involve high level of risk. Just to give you, a heads up with that. To be aware of that, and it can result in loss of all your invested capital. Therefore, Forex and CFDs may not be suitable for all investors. Okay, be sure of that. So you should not risk more than you are prepared to lose. Before deciding to trade, please ensure you understand the risk involved and take into account your level of experience. Seek independent advice if necessary. So that's it on the risk warning, and we shall then get right to it. Okay. Second, I've just escaped the full screen view, so I'm just going onto my platform at the moment here. Okay, yes, a couple of things have been discussed today on our Telegram GTI group as well. For those of you who have not joined us, do join us. It's really interesting. We've got a lot of interactivity going on there, sharing ideas as well. So we have shared a couple of trade ideas today, especially the AUD USD. I have thought of sharing with you one, starting off with one pair at the start of the morning in my time here. We are 6 hours behind, but we are really close, 2 hours behind GMT, say the London time. So we can still catch lots of trade ideas for the Europe zone, as well as the pound and a couple of others later on in the afternoon for the USD connected pairs as well. So I've started off with AUD USD today, mainly because we found AUD to be the leading pair, in the leading currency in terms of its strength to the upside, the bullishness, okay? And then we combined that with the bearishness or weakness of the dollar. So we start off with that one pair AUD USD. We have seen excuse me, a lot of movement to the upside for the AUD USD. So hence I looked into a couple of patterns, a couple of things to discuss so that you get a bigger picture, and then we'll go on to a lower time frame so that you will understand how to trade it in stages, meaning how to trade using lower time frame, smaller amount of pips to target for before you look into the trading with a big time frame, because the time frame, I just want to remind you guys, has to be dependent on your equity level. Okay, so if you got equity level more than 10,000 and above, it's probably best to look, I wouldn't say best, but you could then look into higher time frame like the daily chart and above. Anything below like 1,000 US dollar to start off with as your capital would probably be best if you look into the lower time frame of 1 hour and below. Okay, so here we go. We've got AUD USD. Now the bigger picture first. Okay, but just before that, let me just look into the questions there. Okay, the screen is blank. Let me just see. Can I just check again? Can you guys see my screen now? Is it still blank? Or you guys are okay? Could I just check that with you first before I proceed? Is it clear? You can hear me, of course, but what about seeing my screen? Can you just type into the, just to check? Yeah. Still blank. Oh, okay. Let's just do that once more. Give me a second. Let's see. Okay. What about now? Is it clear? I will check on my end as well. Sound, video clear, sounds clear, but now okay, brilliant, okay. So you guys can see my screen now, yeah? Okay, like I've mentioned, I've shared the AUD USD this morning on Telegram group, so we shall then look into AUD USD first. I'm looking into the daily chart. When I look into a daily chart and I send trade ideas on the daily chart, does not mean that you've got to trade with the daily chart. It's just giving you an idea of what it is in the bigger picture. The bigger picture here are very easy. In the AUD USD, what the signal says, like what I've sent out through Telegram, let's say here we've got an ABCD Z-like pattern. The Z-like pattern is telling us now that prices may or could possibly go up to the C point, find resistance, and come back down at the D point area here. Okay, so for those of you who are buying, let's say, you need to be aware of resistance area here. Between now, it has actually gone above, like I think Mr. Palani mentioned about going above the high of years ago, and we've got the 0.7680. You see the 0.7680 has actually just pierced through 0.7680. Now 7680 is a psychological area or number, so you've got to be very careful with that. What that means is that 0.7680 area is still a resistant area. It might actually come back down anytime soon, but if you want to look into more bullishness, you need to wait until prices go up above 80 by at least 10 pips, so 0.7690 and above. Okay, but again, you've got more resistance there. Now the reason why I've got a resistance here is also based on this one here. You have to look at price, previous price. Okay, now anything that goes up and up and up, you need to always look to the left. You need to look to the left and see where were the risks, where did it come down previously. Now prices, of course, now like the AUD USD is going upwards and upwards. Now that's a good thing, but we need to always look left and see where it has actually fallen in the past. It's fallen there, has fallen there, and has fallen there. Okay, now prices, now the price is at 7680-ish area. It's too close to all these resistance. So what that means is that it could possibly fall or start falling and depreciating anytime because it's just too close to this resistant area. So usually if you are selling, you need to look previously what is going up, what has actually gone up, what are the big moves in the past that has gone up. If you are buying like now AUD USD or looking into buying and seeing a bullish movement of AUD USD, you want to look to your left, zoom out a little bit based on the 4-hour or the daily, it doesn't matter. Look into which areas like this has actually fallen before, because now you are on the upside. You want to look at what has fallen as the potential resistance zone in the past. Okay, so that gives you a bit of a map to tell you that these are the spots, these are the areas that prices may actually fall. So you would need to best plan your exit, plan your take profit according to these areas and zones. So don't get overly excited and think that, okay, you can actually go and buy even more. You need to always think about the risk factor first. Okay, so think about the risk of being stopped out, the risk of being pulled out of the market because of these areas here, all these risky areas here. Okay, hence the reason I have drawn the resistance zone for you in blue. Okay, so yes, price is going up, has gone up a bit more, but it may find resistance later on here at the 7738 area. Okay, 7738 area. So let's wait until 0.7690. If it goes past 7700 area, then it would most probably be potential for it to reach this zone area here. Now inside this zone, one of the big psychological area is 0.7750 area. So if you are buying and then you're looking into entering this zone here, once your take profit to be here within the zone, make sure you are taking profit below the 0.7750 area, like 0.7740 for example, 10 pips below 7750. So that is very important for us to know that. Okay, so here we have got the other thing as well is, let me just erase all drawings. So we have got this and normalize the drawing mode. So we've got it at still on the daily chart. Now, like I've mentioned, when I show you this, it's the big picture of what potentially could happen. You know, go and find resistance, come back down. But this C to D move, once it has found its area where it wants to bounce back, not correction anymore, but wants to bounce back, like really come down, this C to D move is usually in a form of a ABCD pattern. Okay, so when it starts to come down, it might come down and find a bit of a correction going up. Okay, but this going up mode shouldn't be thought as a change of trend and going down, going up a lot more. It may just be a correction, a smaller correction, and then it may start to come down and reach the D area here, the D zone. D zone here, it's at the 74.50 area down here. Okay, but now it is still having lots of strength. We're looking at the candle, quite a powerful longish bullish candle here, giving a lot of signal to the upside. If you look to your left, the big threat of the risk is this area here between 7738 to 7780 area or 78 area here. Okay, so this is the zone that you want to look at now. So your buying should start 7690 onwards, you know, but you need to be very, very careful. Okay, because you just got too many resistance. The zone, it's a risky trade. Okay, to be honest, to look into the buy side here, because you just got too many threats to the downside. But if you're looking into smaller pips, you know, scalping, or looking into smaller shorter term ones, then you can then go into shorter time frame and plan your small pips kind of buy trade. So yes, Mr. Palani, you're right. November last year, yeah, that is correct. So you could actually always look to the left and look into the timing. You know, you want to look into biggest move as well, the biggest fall, because as it goes up, the biggest, this is quite a big fall, a very significant fall. Okay, so because it is a significant fall, you need to take that point there as a big pointer, as a big warning for you to know that that area there, that resistance zone, is a big area to watch out for. Don't get too excited and buy, and then don't actually plan your exit in that area, because it's a significant, very powerful resistance zone. Okay, now on top of that one there, as you can see, within this resistance zone, you can see that there's another big move here, you see. So you need to be very, very careful in trading the Australian dollar USD, because now it's tricking you to believe that it's got loads and loads of potential. Of course, maybe it's not a trick, it is a reality that you've got loads of movement to the upside for AUD USD, because all the big candles are moving. It has gone up a lot already, but you need to think, like I've mentioned many times before, the risk. Look, there's a big risk here, okay, from that zone. There's another big risk here, and then you've got another big risk all the way down here, you see. Okay, so all these ones are the big downfalls, like waterfalls. Okay, these waterfalls, these downside movements needs to be seen as a potential risk ahead of you. Okay, so you need to be very careful. So now we are still trading, we're still looking at the daily chart, so that's okay. You can actually plan smaller pips within 10, 20 pips or so in the lower time frame, but you need to plan your trade on the buy side based on psychological levels as well. So let's look into that. Okay, so I'll just go into the area there, go into erase drawings right there, and let me go on to, let's just start with the 1 hour chart right there. Okay, let's look at what's going on in the 1 hour chart. This area here is a really significant. The reason is we have got this thinking area here. Okay, that's this black square here within this blue zone. I just wanted to highlight that, because these areas, usually traders, they don't pay a lot of attention onto small thinking area, meaning that thinking areas are candles that are going sideways like this, you know, before it shoots up or shoots down. Okay, so these are thinking areas that needs to always be taken into consideration, and you need to draw a zone based on that as well. So this zone here is drawn in this 3 blue line here, which is very important. So let's look into what's going on with the 1 hour chart right there. But I'll go lower to the 5 minute chart, because we have seen that there are potential to the upside. So we want to look into whether they are at this moment of time, with whether it's short term or medium or long. For me personally, I'm not seeing any clear patterns as yet. But because I always think about risk first, hence the reason, like what I've mentioned to you, I see too many risk areas at this moment of time. So I have not really looked into the potential trade areas so much, but this is what I have found out for you, is a pattern that would still be looking quite good is the Z-like pattern here based on the 4-hour chart. Even though I don't see any pattern on the lower time frame or the daily chart, but on the 4-hour it got a bit clearer with an ABCD pattern like this. So this ABCD is telling me that if at all the AUD US dollar is going to go up even more, then it has a potential to reach the top resistant area where it is labeled C point. Okay, so because this is a bullish, this is still a bullish AUD USD pattern, whereby you will see that it has A to B here all the way. If it does go up, it'll probably go up around that area there, find a bit of resistance there, and then come down. But the downward pattern would be, as I've mentioned earlier on, would come down in an ABCD type pattern. Okay, to come down. So this is a bearish. So this is the overall movement. So from this point where the price is now until this point, potentially you have got some room for an upward move, but be very careful with these resistance area. Okay, so that's basically it. Now with the AUD USD, okay, when I find one pair that moves to the upside, let's say AUD is really strong versus USD really weak, we can then find what do you call that? Give me a second. Oops. We can then find correlated pair with the AUD USD. Okay, so the AUD USD is quite correlated negatively quite highly on the 1-hour chart with the USD CAD. When I say negatively correlated, means that if AUD on the 1-hour chart goes up, then it has high possibility of the USD Canadian dollar going down. So if you find a bullish pattern in AUD USD 1 hour, you might find a bearish pattern, almost identical but bearish side of it in the USD CAD. Now for the daily chart, one of the chart that it has very high correlation, positive correlation, that means same direction correlation for the AUD USD on the daily chart, is the NZD USD and the Euro USD. So Euro USD and NZD USD, they go almost the same direction with AUD USD. So AUD USD, NZD USD, and Euro USD on the daily chart, they go the same direction. So if you are trading AUD USD on a daily chart, then you can see big potentials, almost the same type potentials on the NZD USD and Euro USD. So this helps you diversify the number of pairs that you are trading. So if you are aiming at the probability of hitting, let's say 50 to 100 pips, then you can actually times that by 3, because you are looking into trading 3 pairs that are highly correlated with one another. Okay, all right, so this is basically it. And also I think on the fundamental side, as I have shared on the Telegram, it has been what do you call that, giving us hints of a movement or impact on the GBP, mainly because we've got lots of very high impact GBP news on the economic calendar today. Okay, so you want to also look into pairs that are connected to it, you know, with the AUD, like the GBP AUD, for example. But for me, it's best for you to look into pairs that has got a very big contrast in terms of their strength. Okay, one is really high in terms of its strength to the upside, and one is really low in terms of its strength to the downside. Okay, so this is probably better, but I want to also warn you that sometimes it's not as easy as it looks to just find a strong pair and then you pair it up with a very weak pair, because how are we to know which one is strong and which one is getting stronger, which one is weak and which one is weakening? There are differences between strong and strengthening, weak and weakening. Okay, because now let's say for AUD USD, they are let's say for me here in Cyprus, they are like 8 hours plus behind, ahead of us in time. Okay, so they would know what would be strong at their end, and then by the time I wake up in the morning, that strength that they have on the AUD may actually be weakening by the time I wake up already. So that's why you need to differentiate between strengthening and strong, and weakening and weaker. So weak and weakening. Okay, so that is very important. That's why you need to join us on the Telegram group, especially so that you get an idea. My time in the morning, it's still really good time for us to consider trades for the day, because we've got the Eurozone, we've also got the what do you call that, the London Open. So most of the pairs like the yen, the Asian ones and all that, they actually move, have got more chances of moving more later when the US Open as well as the London Open. Okay, so no worries about whether you will get opportunities or not. You will definitely get opportunities by the time I get up and send you some trade ideas. But before me, Arif will be there. He's home based in Malaysia, so he will be helping me as well, guiding you through, giving you more trade ideas. So this is the AUD USD. Okay, so I hope you get a clearer idea now on the AUD USD on a bigger time frame. So let us go into the lower time frame as well. So for those who would like to know a little bit about trading the lower time frame. So here, let's say you've got the AUD USD on a 1 hour chart. As you can see, has gone above that zone still. So again, we want to look into the price action there. It has to go above 80. So you can then trade, because there are no clear pattern based on the shorter time frame. You would then need to rely on the daily and the 4 hour chart to give you that big picture of the Z-like pattern, to give you a bit of a guide. But now, from now on, when you're trading the shorter time frame, you are then trading based on the price psychology and then the support resistance as well, but you are aiming for the upside, because you want to look into the upward trend that is dominated by the bigger time frame. The bigger time frame is telling you that there's still more room to the upside, especially when we go onto the 4 hour chart earlier on, and I showed you that Z-like pattern, and there's still room to reach the C level. Okay, so that's your AUD USD. Now, if you guys have got no questions on the AUD USD, I would like to briefly and smoothly move on to the Euro USD. If you've got questions, feel free, just ask on the AUD USD. I'll just go on to the Euro USD. Now, the Euro USD, it's really interesting. Okay, we have got a Z pattern as well, potentially a Z-like pattern. It is finding a bit of a strong resistance in this area. This is a Z-like pattern where I would expect the A to start from there down to B. B goes up to C. Now, so the B to C has already, whether it's finished or not, we don't know, because there are potential for it to go up much more, but it's looking like it's finding a struggle. If it does actually stop here and start to come down a little bit and then come down even more after that, then we have got higher potential for it to reach the D area here. So this zone here is a D area, but this movement down from C, this is my C, this is my A here. Sorry, this is my A here actually, and then I've got my B right there. Okay, so the B is here, A, B, C, D. Right, so we are expecting a C to D move downwards, but we need more confirmation. This is based on a 1 hour chart. Confirmation meaning we need more candles coming downwards. If at all candles comes down and comes under this zone 1.0770 and below, that is a good thing, because it has gone lower than the 1.0780 area. Okay, so this area here is governed by the psychological number or psychological level of 1.0780. So I need prices to come under here, then it's giving me more potential to reach a D. But once it comes under here, you still have got this risk here, this risk here, and this risk here, because these are the 50, 100, and 200 moving averages. Okay, but this Z-like pattern here, if at all it stops here, this is a 1.618 Fibonacci extension level here, meaning when I pull my A to B, I find this to be 1.618 area here. If it stops here, it's also very good, and it comes down lower here, gives me more potential to reach the D area here. Okay, so we need to wait a little bit, because now look at the price here, 1.0807, just not a very good price, because it's at 0.800 area. I want it to go under the 00. So 1.0790 would then, if it comes down to 1.0790, then it gives me a little bit more of hints that prices can go lower, because it went under the 00 psychological level. Okay, so we need that to come down first. So now it's a bit too early to decide anything, to really be sure whether it will come down or not yet. I would prefer, as a conservative trader, I would prefer for it to come under this zone here to be on the safer side, because it has gone under this very big support area here, okay, or resistant area. So I want it to come under here as well. So that's basically it for the Euro USD 1 hour chart. Bit too early, but alternative scenario, let's say you have got the USD dropping even more, then you've got the ECB as well, correct? Let's say it's positive, and then you can see that the euro will go up even more. So what happens then? What would happen then is, I wouldn't say that this Z pattern will fail, but I will say that this Z pattern will become bigger, and will be even bigger potential for you to go upwards, but eventually there are levels that it may come down from as well. So let's say we've got a scenario now whereby after Draghi speaks and all that, or anything got to do with the Eurozone becomes more positive. And let's say it becomes more positive. Let me just erase all this first. Okay, let's say it becomes more positive, and it goes further up. So once it does go further up, then you are looking at 0.820 as your psychological level. So it goes further than 0.820 towards 0.830 area, then you've got more bullishness expected. So if that does happen, I will show you on the bigger time frame. Then you have got this level here, maybe smaller time frame there. Give me a second. Okay, so if it does go up even more, then what would happen is there are chances for the C point, because remember we've got the C point here already, right? So this Z pattern, if we are based on this one here, it will go down from this area here and down here. But what if C point goes to this line here or this line here? That means good news on euro. Let's say, for example, today good news on euro, and suddenly this thing came down and then starts shooting up. Then if euro does shoot up to this level, 0.850s area or 0.880s area here, that means it has actually reached the different Fibonacci extension, which is the 200 and 224. If it does reach there, it is still a valid Z-like pattern. Only thing will change is the C point will go higher, okay, and that will go like that. If it does reach even higher, then it would go like that. Okay, so this is the potential scenario of what kind of Z pattern we will get and how high it can actually go to, if at all there are fundamentals, politics, whatever that is announced, and it gives room for the Euro USD to go higher. Then these are the two areas here. Okay, but besides these two areas based on Fibonacci, you can always go into the 4-hour chart like this and look left. Always look left and look at areas that it has potential. Now here, this area here, finding resistance here is very likely. Very likely. Why? Because looking left, the huge fall for Euro USD started here. So I will draw a sort of a zone based on this body here and push this one up a little bit up here based on there. So look, these are zones that are potential again, okay, for it to drop anyway. So wherever it is now, it's a very big possibility for a downward trend as well. But let's say the scenario is not exactly what we expect, then it will go higher. Okay, so let me just move back this one here because I want to keep what we have drawn earlier on, and then we want to look at changes later on if they are changing. Always expect the unexpected as well, okay? So you don't get too shocked with whatever that has happened. Okay, so you know how to repair your trades. That's very important. So with the geometric trading style, it has some ways for you to adjust, like what I have mentioned earlier on. You have areas that you can target it at, even as high as this. So you've got possibility of prices. Let's say very positive news on euro, and then suddenly it goes up. It could go up here, here, or even here, based on the pattern. If it does go up here, 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 the pattern still stays. That pattern will still be a Z pattern. Only thing, it got bigger. Okay, but if at all it goes beyond there, then it has got perhaps another pattern, but it's not going to be the Z pattern anymore. So that does actually mean the Z pattern might actually fail, but it gives you more opportunities to the upside, basically. Okay, that's what it means. So here you go. So we've got that Z pattern looking like this at this moment of time. At this moment of time, this is what is expected. This is what's expected for the Euro USD 1 hour chart. Okay, so we are looking at this area that it has stopped here. It's also very significant. It also has stopped at a very nice extension, Fibonacci extension of 1.618. okay, so it's very likely there. It may actually go up a little bit, leave the body, have got a long wick. That is also possible, but again, it does depend on what the big boys have actually decided to do and whether or not their impact would then bring the euro versus dollar to the upside. If it does, you know where it might actually land, and it still become the Z-like pattern there. Okay, so that's basically it. We just need to take it in stages. We need to look into prices falling down under that zone first. Then we have got more potential to reach the D point here. Then that would be a successful Z-like pattern. If it does reach this area here, then it would usually go up. So the Z-like pattern, just very quickly draw it for you. You've got a Z pattern. Usually this is a bullish type Z pattern that mirrors what I've mentioned here. Okay, so a Z-like pattern usually starts off with A here, okay, B goes up to C. So A to B, B to C, we don't actually trade. We are trading the C to D move here to the downside, exactly like this to the downside. That your target will be the D area here. So that is the anywhere within the blue zone. Usually it's above the blue zone you would exit there. Okay, so you've got your C. This is your C basically. So C to D. Okay, now usually once it reach the D area, anywhere within the D area, there is a price or probable reversal zone, like it's marked here in blue. Okay, so that is an area where if it does reach down there, then it has a potential to go upwards. Okay, now usually it could reach that area of D. It's usually about 50% of B to C as well. Okay, let me just show you what I mean with that. Okay, erase all drawings. Now, first option is AB equals CD right there. Okay, that is one way of looking at where D could potentially reach. But the other way is to pull your Fibonacci from B to C to find the 50 area. So the 50 area all the way up there, 50 area is here. Okay, so we've got 50 area there. So that is another option of where prices could fall. Okay, towards 2. So that is another area right there. So there you go, 1.0716. So 1.0716 to the upside is very close to 1.0720. Okay, so if at all prices are falling from this area, 1.0730 would be an ideal area for you to actually exit before it reaches the price of 1.0720. This is when prices start falling. Okay, we're talking about a C to D move here based on the 1 hour chart for the Euro USD. Okay, so Euro USD 1 hour chart right there. This is quite a nice pattern. We are just looking into what may happen once prices start to move down, or perhaps would like to go up, you know, so what would happen at the C point here. So it is actually a thinking area. As you can see, it's all building up at the moment here. You've got weakening bullish chart here. You've got all these candles here. Each one of them have got the wick to the upside. So when you get lots of candles traveling sideways like this, okay, and they are having wicks to the upside, that is giving you a bit of uncertainty as well, because you've got one candle in the middle here, it's got upward wick, downward wick as well, and most of the other candles got upward and downward wick. That means they are really not really sure. They're not really sure. Take the price further up or start to reverse that upward trend and bring it downwards to this area here. Okay, but of course you've got correction as well expected as it travels from C to D. Okay, Euro USD, that is basically it. I've got that clear pattern for you. I've seen that pattern and find that that is what I expect to look into in that Z pattern. If at all, as you can see, the price is actually moving upwards now. There may be something on the news, and maybe people being interviewed or something like that. We have got some channels. I'm not sure which one. We've got the Bank of Canada governor of the bank is actually speaking as well, or have actually spoken earlier on, so that might move the Canadian dollar a little bit. But at this point of time, we are looking at some talks, I think in Bloomberg CNN and also some other business channels, where we will be looking into some people talking about what to expect for the euro, the ECB's talk and things like that. Okay, so here we have got that, but again, you know, it is thinking. As you can see, the movement of the candle or the price itself is just limited at the moment because there's a lot of thinking going on. Okay, so here it's definitely a significant resistance zone here. So hope that is clear for you guys to know how to strategize behind trading the Euro USD. Okay, so we've covered the Euro USD. We've also covered the AUD USD right there. So I would like to also share with you, for those who are interested, I'm not sure whether you guys do trade the USD versus the TRY, is the Turkish lira. Okay, the Turkish lira, TRY, USD versus TRY is also giving us, this is for practice purposes as well, for those of you guys who are not trading this particular pair, it is also giving us a bit of a hint of an ABCD, I would say the Z-like pattern. This is a bearish Z pattern because it starts the A from there all the way B, and then C, and then D. So what we are expecting, we trade only the C to D, usually based on the geometric patterns. Whether it's the ABCD lightning bolt type pattern or the Z-like pattern, or the M pattern, W pattern, usually it's a C to D leg that we trade, not the other legs. The other legs is for us to confirm the structure of that pattern. Okay, so here, for example, we have got Z-like pattern there, A to B, that's the A to B leg, and then we waited for that B to C leg all the way down here. That's the C right there. Now we are expecting the C to actually turn around, rebound from that zone, that blue color zone right there. Okay, so second, so that blue color zone right there is giving us some room basically to find support at anywhere within that zone. Okay, if it does find support there, it is looking like it's finding support there already. A lot of long wicks coming down. That means that, you know, the needle part of the candle is quite long, telling you that it is struggling to go down even more. Okay, struggling to come down even more because the body gets shorter and then it's just stuck there. So that it gives you a bit of a good hint that that might be the C point there. If at all it does progresses to bounce upwards later, then the C to D usually, this is your C, this is your D around here, around this zone area, would usually come in the form of an ABCD. Okay, so when you are looking into buying and then you're buying there and then you are looking at an area for you to buy, you are looking at a target to be at least 50% of B to C. Okay, B to C. But just be aware that when you're trading the C to D to the upside, it will usually come in the form of an ABCD. But then you can make that decision to trade the ABCD within this zone. Okay, within this zone. So that's a good thing for you to do. So you've got a Z-like pattern, let's say ABCD, but when you have the C to D here, right? The ABCD here within this C to D move, you've also got like a W-like pattern here. So that does again confirm that prices, once it reaches the D area, it's expected to go downwards. And usually the downward move is about 50%. Okay, of the C to D Fibonacci level. Okay, so that's just an idea so that you get a bit of a practice on what the Z-like pattern means and things like that. Usually the Z-like pattern, because this is my A area, before the Z pattern, this Z pattern, usually I'm looking at this move and I'm looking at this move. This move is very important for me. So I do my sort of calculation based on Fibonacci and everything way before, and I just draw that pattern for you so I can guide you on how to trade this Z-like pattern. Okay, so we have got, hi there, Michael, how are you doing? We've got a question from Michael Mashiloane. So Michael says, hi, can you please check the GBP AUD 4-hour chart and daily chart for me? Thanks. Of course, no problem, my pleasure. We will go on to GBP AUD. I'll just write it down here. GBP AUD on the 4-hour as well as the daily. We can go on there, of course. So give me a second. We'll cover these ones first, Michael, and then we'll head on to the GBP AUD for you. Okay. Right. So let us just do that. Erase drawings right there, and we'll go on to the other pairs. Have you guys got any questions at all on the USD? Turkish lira, or on the pattern itself, because this is a bit of a practice for you guys to get you guys more familiarized with the Z-like pattern, because it has been going on really well for the Z-like pattern since November, October last year. I have seen lots of Z pattern that has gone more successful than any other patterns as well. So this has been a good sign for me that the Z pattern has increased its potential and probability to succeed. So it's quite a good pattern, but it may take a bit more practice compared to the ABCD pattern, which are easier to absorb and easy to understand and apply compared to the Z-like pattern. But do not worry, we will always discuss that with you on the webinar as well as the Telegram group. So if you've got questions there in the Telegram group, feel free, because when you share your questions with me, you're sharing it to the entire group, and it's also sharing the knowledge to the rest of it when we get that answered as well, so everybody could see it too. Okay, that's a good thing that we can actually do for the group as well. Okay, so USD TRY, or the Turkish lira, right there. Now we just go and move on. Before we move on to GBP AUD, we'll go on to GBP USD first. Okay, now what's going on with the GBP USD? Now GBP USD, I mean, we have got some what do you call that, more on the geopolitics, political side of things, with the Article 50, with what Theresa May speaks, and also at this moment of time, it's more of how much Theresa May is being supported by Trump, how much Trump is supporting each other, and how their relationship is going on as well, because Theresa May is actually being shot in her own country in terms of, you know, people commenting about how she supports Trump and all that, and that gets communicated in the news and sort of shaken the market as well. So here we're looking at a potential ABCD coming downwards that was initially drawn, but the C went up a little bit too high right there. Okay, so but now if we zoom in a little bit, we could see that there's just a huge potential to the downside, because now the traders will be looking into this huge candle here. Now usually huge candles like this will only bring about more trading opportunities to the downside. If there's downside move like this with huge candles, then traders, the sellers will try to lower the price even more. Okay, so that is usually the scenario. So let us look into that. Now what we can see here, I'll just remove this this ABCD here. Okay, and we'll just take that off. All right, and then we'll see in what's happening with, we'll take this blue one off as well right here, GBP USD this is. So this will give you a bit of an idea, Michael, on the GBP what do you call that, status or strength at this moment, before we move on to your pair of the GBP AUD. So here we know that it's found this resistant area, which is good. It's found that resistance there. It is going lower than that area. So what does this mean? This is giving you hints that the downward strength for GBP versus the dollar is really strong. So that might then give more room for the GBP AUD as well to come lower. okay? But we need to look into AUD later on, Michael, because we would like to know what's going on with Australia's strength. Now, as we know, Australia, AUD, Australian dollar, is really strong as of today. So that is a good sign that the AUD is stronger than the GBP. GBP only gets lower. We can see it from GBP USD as we are looking at the live chart now. So here itself, let's see, you've got that zone there, okay, it's well respected, it's coming down lower than that. Now, as it comes down, what are the threat for it to go up? The upward threat or the bounce or the rebound or whatever you want to call it is this 200 moving average here. This is where prices could go upwards. That's why you've got that needle stuck there at the 200, okay? But beside that, if you go left, you've got the support area here, but a bigger support area perhaps here, and you've got some resistance there. So this area here, you have got a bit of a support area. I will use this one here, lower body and then lower tick. That would be that support base on that one here. You've got some longish candle going through there. So we've got this area here. Now it's stuck at the 200 here, finding support, potential support. That's why it's weakening. So will it actually go lower or not? We need to be sure that it comes lower than this zone here. This zone here made up of 2523 and 2514. So 2514 is close to 2520 area. It needs to go lower under this area towards 2510 and below. Then you could see more downward pressure. At this moment of time, it's really risky to think that it will just go down even more because it found support at this area here and it's just stuck at 200. It might find support and then go back upwards, but it needs to go above this zone again to give more upward pressure. So we are a little bit trapped at this moment of time, not trapped as per se, in a waiting mode. If you are being conservative and being safe, or you want to measure the risk properly, you would then need to look into all this resistant area here and support area too. Okay, so here let me just check whether I could find anything that I can spot immediately. There may be a potential. Let's see if I pull from here all the way upwards. Do I see a 50%? I do see a 50% here. I see the body stuck there almost 50%, only the wick went through. So because of that, I could potentially consider this move here, okay, as my Z-like pattern. Okay, I will take, let's say, this one here, this move here, and I'll move it there, and I can see that it's really close to the 50% area, and also the what do you call that, this area here. So my guess, I wouldn't say guess, but based on this analysis, I find that a potential of an A, B, C, D, Z-like pattern, and this is a sort of a bullish-like pattern to find that support to the upside very soon, because it's not coming down here, it's finding lots of support, and the Z-like pattern may support it more. If I pull this one all the way up, I can see that it's close to this area, not a very, you know, on the dot kind of pattern, but it has some potential, giving you support to the upside, okay, as opposed to the downside, because it's just too far for it to come down. Let's look into the 5-minute chart right here. Got just too much downward pressure here, let's say from 5 minutes, 30 minutes, let's see. Again, it's under all three. Let's see, is it all? They're under the 3 lines as well. 30 minutes, let's say on the 1-hour chart. It gets uncertain, it becomes uncertain and not clear from the 1-hour chart. From the 30 onwards, it's all 30 right down to 15.5. It's signaling shorter term, signaling downward pressure. Okay, 1 hour, because the candles are in between all these lines, got stuck here. We just don't know what's happening yet. There's a potential for it to bounce upwards because of the Z-like pattern here. But from 1 hour, because it's in between all 3 lines, it's uncertain in terms of the trend. In terms of higher time frame, is found support right on the 50, so that gives us a bit of a hint to the upside on the 4-hour chart. On the daily chart, we have got, okay, you've got here, let's just check it out. Okay, it's in between, so it is a bit of a risk looking into this pair. We've only got, let's say, clearer, very clear sort of move to the downside, let's say, only at the weekly, monthly sort of chart that gives you more room to the downside for the GBP. So there are chances to think of a corrective move to the upside now from now until medium term before it reaches downward move for the GBP USD. So there are chances for bullishness for the GBP as a corrective move as of now. Okay, so that is what I can see. I don't really see any other clearer pattern as opposed to the one I've just drawn. We've got that on the 4 hour there just now, and then I think it was the 1 hour that we've drawn that just now. Yes, so if on the 4 hour we could see it visually a little bit better, I think we've got that downward move weakening with a pattern there. So let's see whether it starts to make a bounce, a rebound upwards. If it does make a rebound upwards from this area here or anywhere soon, then there's a potential of this successful Z-like pattern. If it does go up, the upward move for GBP USD for the buy side, you can aim at about 50% of C2D. So you can aim that move, let's say if it's around here, 50% is somewhere in the middle of that PRZ zone in blue. You can aim your TP for your buy order. Okay, so now not a good downward sell mode, but more on the buy move. But again, you're looking at 2570. So 2570 is not a very good price to buy. You need to buy it above the 80 psychological number, which is 90. So again, it's your decision whether you would like to take that trade, but it's, for me, it's just a bit too small. It wouldn't be a good area for us to consider buy trades and all that at this moment of time, unless you're looking into small pips in a lower time frame, the scalping side of things. Okay, so let's just go on to, since we have gone into GBP USD, we'll go on to Michael's GBP AUD. So GBP AUD, I mean, now we're looking at the 1 hour chart for GBP AUD, and we are definitely looking into downward momentum on the 1 hour chart. It's all under all three lines. The three lines for the what do you call that, moving averages, they're not really clear, giving you clear signal to the downside, but in terms of candles, they're all under the moving averages. Now, in terms of price, we have got prices at 1.6351. So 51 is the 50 side number. A bit too early to think of a dominant bearish momentum. We need to wait till prices go lower than the 50, like 1.6340 and lower, then we can expect more downward pressure. So if we go on to the 4 hour chart, we could see that the downward trend sort of still persists because they are under all three lines. We go on to the daily chart, it is the same. We have got some strength, some bounce to the downside. Okay, so here itself, there may be a potential for you to look into an ABCD. You've got an A, a B, a C, and then a D downwards as well. Okay, but here I'll just explain to you that the ABCD, sometimes they work better if the A or the C is actually finding correction at the either one of the three lines. Okay, then your probability goes up, but I'll explain what I mean with that. We'll take this one off first. If I go into the 4 hour chart, when I want to pull my A, B, C, I see that my C is here. It's above all these three lines, right? But if I go into the daily chart, if I want to pull an A, let's say I want to concentrate on this one here, because if I pull A from here, B, I see that my C has found resistance at either one of the moving averages. I like that better. Okay, I like that move better because it sort of secures my resistance zone here, finding it, trapping the price there, and making it more secure from going upwards. Okay, so I would like that. I prefer that to be my C point. Okay, when it hits either one of the moving averages. So if I pull my Fibonacci from that top here, all the way down here, then I can see that it's also at 61.8, which is my favorite Fibonacci ratio, which is a good high probability ratio as well. So let's say I see a clearer sign of an ABCD on the daily chart for the GBP AUD. Okay, so I start drawing an ABCD like this, A to B like that, and then my C to D, very simple, like that. Okay, I'll just slow that down a bit, and then I continue drawing my A to B again, and then my B to C like that. So I'm considering a downward sort of move, okay, because it's finding resistance here is giving me hints, okay, and I'm looking at the potential area that it could reach to at D. It's about 1.5590 area. Now it's at 163, so you've got a significant big movement expected for a fall for the GBP AUD on a daily chart, okay. So we want to then match up and look into GBP news for the day to day, whether or not you've got more negativity and whether or not you've got more positivity for the AUD, more room to the upside for the AUD. So then we can see more room to the downside for the GBP. Now, where do we actually then look into the trading area? So that's based on the centroid, but before we do that, we need to convert the ABCD pattern into a geometric pattern like that. So once it's done that, then you could see that the price that is trading now, it's really close to the centroid area. This is based on the daily chart for the GBP AUD. So we are looking at the centroid area marked at 1.6395. Now 95 to the upside is very close to the 00 side number. So if you go down 10 pips under the 00, it is at 1.6390. So 1.6390 would potentially be a good trading area to consider more downward move. So you've got options 1.6390 as your trading area, 1.6390 right there. Okay, and then the other one, 6390, if you go downwards, is 6380. 6380 is a side level. Going lower than that is 1.6370. Okay, so 1.6370 is another trading area, bearish possibility. If you've got more bearish possibility, then you're looking at your trading area to short the GBP AUD, either one of these prices, but safer to go lower, basically 6370 and low. You've got more chances. So if I mark that at 6370, let me just mark your trading area, 6370. Okay, right. So we've got your area at 6370. Let's say that's just that yellow line there. Okay, 6370. So let's take this one away. Let's focus on one price, trading price, 6370, right there. So that possibly, ideally, let's say, for example, you're looking to entering at that 6370, let's say, okay, and you're looking at the potential of it coming downwards to 5590. Now, 5590, it would be 56. That's a lot of pips, isn't it? Yeah. So you've got 5590. Now 5590, if you go to the upside, you've got 5600, so 5610. So let's say, for example, I would aim it at 5610. I'm just tweaking it to the psychological level. Okay, so 56, yes, 600, 610. Yes, correct. 5610. So 5610. That's a possible reversal zone or take profit area if you want to consider that. So 5610, let's say. So 1.5610. Okay, 1.5610. Now, this is based on the daily chart, so it makes sense. It's this big of a movement, but because it's the daily chart, you're looking at a couple of weeks at least, possibly. Okay, so there you go. Right, so you've got quite a number there. You've got 700 plus pips there. But again, we're looking into not a straight line fall, but a possibility. But again, it does actually depend whether prices would find support and bounce up or not. So if you're looking into a downward move like this, you need to look left and look into all the possible support area close to this centroid area. Okay, now you've got support right there as well. Okay, this is a support area here. Be very careful. Okay, right? And then let's see whether we've got more support. Okay. I just want to scroll and look into possible support area, and definitely you've got loads of support area here. So be careful. You need to go under this area first in order for us to look into possible selling, but not just yet, because I've just got some risk area. So let it fall under, let it reach 63.70 or even below, if you can actually wait until 63.40, which is under the 63.50 area. Okay, lower the better. Why? Because you've got a long way. If at all it's going to fall a lot more following that pattern here, you can always take the prices lower and lower, so that you lower your risk. Okay, lower your risk, so you are actually measuring more intensity in the bearishness of this pair for you to reach that area down there. So we don't know just yet. Would there be more news to the negative side or not? Because we've got a bit of a geometric pattern here pointing downwards. So it may be hinting you that there may be a possible downward move, but let us wait until prices get marinated more to the downside. Okay, so let prices go down a bit more, go down towards these numbers here. So hopefully that will then give you more potential to reach that area right there. That is, if it is persisting to the downside, and this is based on the daily chart. Based on the weekly chart, we are looking at a lot of downward move anyway. With the monthly chart, a lot of movement to the downside, all under the three lines. So for the long term, from daily onwards, to me at least, it looks quite clear to the downside. So now from daily and above, let's say shorter to medium time frame, you are looking at corrective move to the upside. Okay, so hence the reason we want to see the big picture. Then we know GBP AUD to the upside, to the downside, based on the daily chart and above, giving you that potential trade. But then we want to look at potential correction to the upside, maybe. Okay, so all this one, hence the reason you're looking at upside move like this. Okay, these are all corrective move to the upside. And then the 1 hour chart, again, possible corrective move. 5-minute chart as well, it is finding bounces and bounces upwards. Okay, so that it's finding bounces upwards, so you can take prices at higher it bounces upwards, looking at very strong area to resist from, come down even harder to the downside. Okay, so there you go. See, that's why prices are finding support to find the momentum later on to come down. Okay, so I hope that is clear for you, Michael, on GBP AUD, and that's basically it. Now let's look into a little bit. If you don't have any questions on the GBP AUD, then we'll go on to gold as well. Gold here, as I can see, let me just check for questions. Most welcome, Michael. Okay, so here we have got, let's say, on the gold side of it versus the dollar on the 4-hour chart, this is what I could see a potential ABCD to the upside due to the C bouncing off from the 50 moving average here, which is a good sign, pushing price possibly higher. So we're looking into prices for the gold on the 4-hour chart. This does actually depend on how low and weak the dollar would be. Okay, so the weaker the dollar, more fundamentals news, negative ones pushing, or sorry, pulling the price down for the dollar, then you see more potential for the gold to reach to the upside. But based on the ABCD pattern that you can see, ABCD, this is a bullish ABCD looking into potential of 1232.20 area. This is the 20 side number here. So we are looking into potential to the upside, but a reversal zone at this area here. Okay, it's already past the centroid area, so you've got good trading opportunity to the upside based on the 4-hour chart looking into this area. If we zoom out a little bit, okay, even more perhaps, then we want to look into the left. Always look to the left. Prices could go up, yes, but where could it go down? There, this area here. See how many resistance spots there they are here. Okay, so then we go on like this, we pull it to the left, always to the left. Okay, just don't get too excited too fast when you look into buying or selling. Always look into the left whether you've got threats waiting for you. Okay, so here itself you got prices here. Okay, of course it's moving upwards, but you want to look for resistance area. Has it fallen at that area? You know, has it fallen or not at that area? But let's say, okay, these are the resistance area there for the take profit area for gold. This is the trading now. The price is very closely 1220.87 area. Let's see. Okay, here, look at what happened here. We have got some falling price here. Okay, so this area you should also mark it here. We had some rise up there, and then it couldn't go up further. Boom, it came down again. So this zone here, it's quite a strong resistance zone, so we need to be very careful because it might then find resistance. That's why you've got a weak candle here. So we need for it to go above the 87. You need to reach the 0.90 area at least, or 1221 and above, so it gives you a bit more room to consider. Because you see here we find resistance zone close to the price now. You see you've got resistance there, prices went down a lot, you got some more resistance here, so I would think 1232.30 onwards would be a better area to then look into more prices to the upside, because now you're too close. Now traders are too close to the resistance zone. Okay, so 1232.30 or 25 or 30, let's say, would be a better area to look into more upward momentum, so that it doesn't hit this area here. You see, this is the area that will block your potential to buy more, because these are a very significant resistance at this zone, and then very significant resistance at this zone here. Okay, so you've got two zones there, this zone here, this and this area. Yeah, this area at the top here as well. Okay, so you've got some room to the upside here until it reaches there, but again, these are the areas above that gives you a clearer path. Okay, a clearer path to go upwards only then. If not, it might find a bounce to the downside. Okay, so that is actually for gold. Let us see whether I've got any pattern there that we can actually see. To me, we have got a Z-like, not a very high probability Z pattern for me here. It still may happen, but this Z pattern is a bearish pattern, so A, B, C, and then D, and then downward move. But again, price is in between 3 lines EMA, so that's not a good sign. It's giving us uncertainty at the moment. Going on to very short time frames, let's see that. More support based on the 5-minute chart. It has found support there. You got more move to the upside. Then you go 30 minutes chart for the gold again. Again, it is above all 3 lines. So we've got more upward sort of momentum to the upside momentum or bullishness momentum for the shorter term until the 4-hour chart. But then as it gets to the daily chart, like long term, so from now till medium term, there's some room to consider upside, but not on the longer term as yet, because we still have got some challenges based on the 200 moving average right there at the 1232.20 area. It is also at the cycle level, and is also at the zone where it might reverse the price. Okay, or the price for gold might reverse again. Okay, so that's for gold. As of now, any questions at all from you guys? Any questions? No questions at all? We've got, if no questions, we move on to Euro JPY here. For those who are trading, we find that zone here as your support zone. Very strong support zone between 121.46 to 121.23. It's both very close to the 50 sec number, that one, and very close to the 20 sec number, that one. So that's your zone. So above the 121.60 and above, only then you can see more room to the upside, and under the 121.20 and below, like 121.10, only then you can see more room to the downside. So prices are actually trapped in between psychological levels at the moment, so we need prices to either move up a bit more to give us more room to the upside, or move down a bit more to give room to the downside. Now it's trapped in the middle. If you look into the 4-hour chart and zoom out, you can see that's all the areas it's trapped at. It's finding lots of support in this area as well. So we want the prices to go at 12, give me a second, 121.60 and above to give more room to the upside. Okay, so if it does go upside move, then you may see a ABCD to the upside here, and may make a W-like pattern to show you the reversal zone to the downside. But trade it in stages, ABCD pattern first, then we'll take it from there. But you need to wait for prices to go at the 1 to 1.60 level first before it gives you any hints to do anything else. All right, that is for the Euro JPY. NZD JPY, very strong to the upside at the moment. It is correlated, as I've mentioned, especially on the daily chart, very highly correlated to the AUD USD. So if you're looking at AUD USD daily chart, big movement, potential to the upside, then you might most probably be seeing the NZD USD on the daily chart as well, giving you similar patterns, similar sort of sentiment to the upside, because it's positively correlated between AUD USD and NZD USD. Okay, here it's almost the same, like exactly the same like the AUD USD I've given you, whereby I see a potential for it to go upwards. To give me a pattern of the Z-like pattern if it goes to this level here at the 161.8. So more room potentially to the upside. Of course, it doesn't move in a straight line, so potentially you are looking at up, down, up, down until it reaches this area here. It's giving you the price of 74, 71. So that is also a very good area to take profit or to quickly exit before it reaches 74.80 side level. So the way I look at it here is the potential of Z pattern right there, all the way up around there, and then it makes that pattern, it starts reversing around that area there potentially. This is of course if it's not finding more reason to go up more. If it does go up more, then this B to C leg of the Z-like pattern only extends, and this Z-like pattern becomes a bigger Z pattern. Okay, so this is the Z-like pattern, more room to the upside towards C, and once it reaches around this area here, there is a possibility or probability for it to fall to this area here, which is this area here, which is at 7097. But this fall, downward fall, usually comes down in the form of an ABCD downwards. Okay, so be careful with that. So this is your C, this is your potential D, that's your B, and that's your A. Okay, so A, B, C, D, this is a bullish-like pattern. So if it does fall from C to D, you're looking at upward move, bounce, there what's found at the D point. So trading it in stages, meaning that we're looking at the upward move first, see what happens, reaches C, only then we plan for a downward move to sell. At this moment of time, it's the bullish buying opportunity from C to D still hasn't really happened as yet. So let's wait and see where will it actually then find a resistance zone. Would it be at C? If it does, coming downwards, then you can tell that the C to D move is in progress. And if it does reach D, then the Z pattern has actually completed a successful pattern. Okay, so that's basically it I've got for you guys. We've covered quite a number of trades, quite a number of instruments, including gold. Any questions at all? Any other pairs that I may have missed, or you guys have got questions on or about? Let me know. Before I end this session, let's open up for questions and any other things that you would like to ask about the patterns, geometric patterns as well. Feel free to ask. Questions at all, guys? Okay, we've got some question coming up. That's okay, Michael, no worries. We can always go back to the USD JPY. I think I have, but that's no harm for us to just go back a little bit and just talk about USD JPY, we can do that. Okay. Yes. Let's just wipe out all these drawings first. Okay. Erase all drawing. Okay, so about the Z, the USD JPY on the 1 hour chart completed a Z pattern very nicely yesterday. That's a 50% area of B to C, completed there, and then it came downwards, really nice. Let us look into what's going on at this moment of time. So what I'll do is I'll first erase this. The USD JPY, I think, has been posted on Telegram and discussed much more there, but we can always do it right here. Here, if we are looking into more room to the downside due to what you see in the news and trend-wise, then there is a possibility to look into a potential ABCD type pattern here. Okay, so the reason is if you look at this big fall down like that, and you see this correction happened at the 50%, and not only that, it's nice because it has found resistance at the 200 moving average. Okay, so that gives us a bit of a good potential to look into a high probable ABCD type pattern. Okay, because the C sort of stuck there with a candle like that, and found its resistance at one of the EMA there. That's usually a good thing that I like. Okay, so let's just look into drawing that pattern out. So if I draw that pattern, A to B, right from the very top to the bottom, and then B to C right there. Okay, but I would like to look at where the C point is actually landed when I pull my A to B. So if I pull my A to B from that top there all the way down, I see that my point at the opening or price of the downward move here landed at 50%. Okay, so if I move this, what if I move this one lower, this A to B, to this point instead? So I move that lower to this point, then I find that that is closer to the 61.8, and I like that 61.8. So you can always move that A area until you get your C point to reach either 61.8 or 78.6. If you find that chance, you can use that. Okay, so we'll take that one off. Second, so you've got my, instead of having it A up there, I prefer my A here, because if I pull my Fibonacci from here to here, I find that to be closer to 61.8, and I like the 61.8 ratio. It's got a higher probability as well. So then I continue to draw the AB equals CD. Okay, and redraw my A to B right there. Okay, so here it's giving me hints that it's under all the three lines. It got more dominant bearish candle, so we are expecting an ABCD pattern as well, giving us room to reach a 111.111.05. Okay, so the 111.05 is a potential, let's say, take profit zone, but it's really close to the 11100 area. So if I want to take profit, I want to take profit above the 00 area at the 11110. Okay, so I'll adjust this one to 11110. Okay, this is based on the principles of psychological levels or numbers. So 11110 right there, and we'll leave it right there. So you've got a bit of a zone going on right there. Okay, so here we're looking into a downside move, converting that from a ABCD pattern to a geometric pattern. We're looking at a center point right there. So your potential selling or trading zone earlier on to take a short on this one, let's say, for example, is close to that centroid area or under that centroid area. So a potential ideal area based on psychological number to enter the trade earlier on would be, if you're looking at a downside, you're looking at 11270 because it's under the 80 side number, you see. So if I do that and I adjust that to 70, that would be my potential selling area that I would enter there, let's say, for example, based on psychological number, and then 11110 would be my exit area. But taking that into consideration, we'll just measure, have a bit of a look into the potential profit area would actually be about 157 pips downward. So that is quite ideal on the 1 hour chart for a sell on the USD JPY. Okay, if we go on to the 4 hour chart, let's say, we're looking at still trend wise under all three lines. The prices are under all three lines, giving you more hint to the downside. Very nice. And then on the daily chart, it is not as clear Okay, so you could always look into trading 4-hour chart and below, and match that with what's going on in the news, what's going on in the heat maps or currency strength meter, to look into how strong or how weak a particular currency is. And here with the USD JPY, we just want to match up the strength of the yen to be stronger than the dollar, and the dollar to be extremely weak. If it does continue to be extremely weak and weaker, driven by Trump or anything in the geopolitical sense, political sense, economic sense of the US to drive prices down for the dollar, then you've got more and more potential to reach that potential area here at 11110. Okay, so that's basically what we can see on the USD JPY. It has been a really good week so far since Monday. We've got most of the patterns shared with you on Telegram, our trades that I myself take. It's been a very productive, very fruitful trade week as well. So whatever I see as potential, I share with you guys on Telegram. So does Arif and the group of mentors in the GTI group. We are still waiting for the FX geometry to come up. I've got some very cool tools developed by my developers. Hence the reason it's taking a little bit more time, but it will be very, very soon. Very soon, not I mean a couple of months, it'll be the most a week or so. But I've been saying this a week or so, but we are trying our very best, but it wouldn't be that long anymore. So once that is ready, we can then have the group in the geometric fxgeometry.com website. Within the members area, you will have a group chat section where we will have all the groups chatting in there, all the members to be chatting in there. We can share a lot more, and you will get tutorial videos in there as well for all the patterns, okay, as well as a price trade plan and everything else. So okay, hope that is that's clear for you, Michael, on the USD JPY. I think that's all I've got for you guys. And any questions at all before we end this session today? Any questions at all? You guys are clear with most of the trades. Hope it has been quite fruitful for you guys as well this whole week with the geometric trade ideas that's been shared with you on the Telegram group especially. Okay, let's see. All right, Michael, most welcome. Okay, guys, I think that's it for now. I'd like to close this session here, your geometric trade session. So today is Thursday. We've got the next one coming on Monday. So I'll be posting the link as well. So do distribute it to your friends as well, people that you know who may be interested in wanting to know more about geometric patterns, as well as they trade Forex and would like to ask more questions, get more clarity in terms of trade ideas. Feel free to join both the group as well as our webinars, because it's free of charge. It's for us to learn together, and feel free to distribute it and join us next week, Monday. So it'll be every Mondays and Thursdays, 3 p.m. Malaysian, sorry, not Malaysian time, 3 p.m. sorry, Cyprus time. Malaysian time will be 9 p.m. Okay, so that's basically it. We are GMT +2, so for those who are interested, feel free to join, and you can always look up the Telegram group and ask us questions there itself, and click onto the registration link that will be shared in the Telegram group itself. Okay, guys, so I shall say a very good evening, and a big thank you to you guys for attending today's webinar, live geometric market outlook, and today is the 2nd of February 2017. We'll see you next week then. Okay, very good evening and good night to all. Bye-bye.